A very bad news from the Igbo. What is the news? What happened? What transpired? And why are a lot of people are not talking about this? The former presidential candidate and activist Sowore on Monday alleged that Mr. and Mrs. Calista Ifedi, who had been detained by the Department of State Service, that is DSS, since 2021 for alleged connection with the indigenous people of Biafra, that is IPOB, died while in custody at agency Sowore Barracks, the detention facility. In a statement shared on his official X account, Sowore described the detention and death of Mr. and Mrs. Ifedi as a grave abuse of power and a tragic failure for the Nigerian state to protect life. Sowore claimed that Mr. and Mrs. Ifedi was unlawfully detained without due process and denied adequate medical care until her demise. Sowore also stated that Mr. and Mrs. Ifedi was arrested alongside her husband, Sunday Ifedi, at their home in Enugu on November 23rd, 2021. Sowore stated that the couple were initially held at DSS headquarters before being transferred to Sowore Barracks in March 2022. Sowore stated that Mr. Ifedi, the husband to the deceased, who was released from detention in December 2025, last saw his wife in March 2022. He added that her husband was never informed of her death while in custody. The activist also said sustained advocacy by Amnesty International Nigeria, human rights lawyer Deji Adayunji, and other campaigners later revealed that Mr. and Mrs. Ifedi's alleged offense was that members of the indigenous people of Biafra, IPOB, had bought food at a restaurant in Enugu. Sowore further alleged that while in detention at Sowore Barracks, Mr. and Mrs. Ifedi fell ill but was denied medical treatment, ignored, and allegedly taunted by officials until she gave up in a ghost. Sowore said he personally informed Mr. Ifedi of his wife's demise before making the information public, calling the incident a egregious crime. Sowore demanded the immediate closure of Sowore Barracks detention facility and called for the identification, arrest, and prosecution of all officials involved in Mr. and Mrs. Ifedi's detention, neglect, and the subsequent demise of hers. Sowore also linked the incident to the period when Yusuf Bichi served as Director General of the DSS, alleging that abuses occurred under his leadership with the backing of officials in the administration of former President Muhammadu Buhari. Sowore called the Nigerian authorities to produce Mr. and Mrs. Ifedi's body and conduct an autopsy to determine the exact circumstances of her demise, insisting that she deserved life, dignity, and justice. According to how Sowore tweeted this on his social media handles, he said the Department of State Service at official DSS Nigeria has admitted that Mr. and Mrs. Calista Ifedi, who was detained since 2021 for allegedly selling food to IPOB members, died while in detention at Sowore Barracks. Her detention was unlawful, she was denied due process, and the report indicates she fell ill in custody without receiving adequate medical care. This admission confirms a grave abuse of power and a tragic failure of the Nigerian state to protect life. Now, let's explain. If the allegations surrounding the demise of Mr. and Mrs. Calista Ifedi are true, and so far they remain serious and unanswered, then Nigeria is staring at one of the most disturbing human rights failures in recent years. I mean, look at it. A woman allegedly detained since 2021 without trial, without conviction, without transparency, is said to have, given up in a ghost quietly in state custody, while her husband was left in the dark for years. This is not just an Igbo issue. This is not just about the Biafra cause or whatever that she's been accused of. This is not about the association of IPOB. This is a Nigerian issue and a constitutional crisis. Now, let us remove emotions for a moment and ask the basic question: when did association become a crime? Even if Mr. and Mrs. Ifedi was a member of IPOB, which has not been proven in any court of law, when did the membership of any organization automatically become a death sentence? Nigeria's constitution is clear. Freedom of association is guaranteed. Freedom of thought and belief is guaranteed. Detention without trial is illegal. The right to life is inviolable. At no point does the Constitution say you may detain a citizen indefinitely because of who they associate with. At no point does it say you may deny medical care to a detainee. At no point does it say you may allow a citizen to give up quietly in custody without informing their family. I mean, if selling food to people becomes grounds for terrorism accusation, then every Nigerian trader is at risk. Detention is not conviction. This case highlights a dangerous culture Nigeria must confront. Detention has replaced persecution. Suspicion has replaced evidence. Silence has also replaced accountability. If the state believed Mr. and Mrs. Ifedi committed a crime, why was she not charged in court? If the state believed she was dangerous, why was there no trial? If the state believed in justice, why was her family kept uninformed? A government that detains citizens endlessly without trial is not fighting insecurity, it is manufacturing injustice. This is why this hits in Igbo very hard and differently. Let's be honest, even if it is uncomfortable, cases like this feed a growing perception among many Igbo people that security enforcement is selective, punishment is uneven, suspicion follows identity, self-determination discourse is treated as treason, not speech. Whether one supports IPOB or not is very irrelevant. What matters is that no ethnic group should feel that their lives are cheaper under the law. When justice feels regional, unity becomes impossible. Self-determination is not a crime, but in Nigeria it is treated as such. Across the world, Scotland debate independence, Catalans debate independence, and so rest of many others. None of these debates justify extrajudicial detention or death. Ideas are fought with counter ideas, not prisons, not punishment. Agitations are resolved with dialogue and law, not silence and burial. Once a state starts to unalive ideas by killing people, it has already lost moral authority. The most dangerous part of this case is not even about the death itself. It is the normalization of it. If Nigerians accept this, as they do always, a woman can die in custody without trial. Her husband can be kept uninformed. No official is immediately held accountable for this. Then tomorrow, anyone can be the next. Obviously, what is happening today in Edo State? People are protesting against kidnappers. People are protesting, coming out to say, we demand justice for the things that have been happening in our environment. But what did the government of Nigeria do? They opened fire on them and started shooting. Today, it is an alleged IPOB sympathizer. Tomorrow, it could be a journalist. Next week, a protester. Next year, anyone who speaks too loudly. At minimum, full disclosure of what happened was very important. Production of her body, independent autopsy, identification of responsible officers, prosecution where negligence or abuse is proven, compensation and apology to the family. Anything less sends a message that state is above life, and that imagery is not good for our country. Now, this is not about loving or hating IPOB like I said. This is not about loving or hating nnamdikanu. This is not about loving or hating the Igbo cause, the Biafra cause. This is not about politics. This is about whether Nigeria still believes that human life matters, even when the person holds unpopular views. If being accused of association is enough to lose your life, then freedom in Nigeria is an illusion, and no country survives that lie forever. And that is all I have to say. Please don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to this very channel. Turn on the notification so you'd always get notified anytime we drop a new update. And please don't forget to leave us with your comment. What do you think? What is your opinion